Welcome to our channel. I'm Jennifer Moran, and I'm talking to Halloran Illustrations. And welcome to our channel.
Thank you.
So,
Glad to be here.
yeah, I'm so glad that you're here too, because you and I have known each other for a very long time. We've kind of just followed each other on social media, and we kind of support each other. But I have never really sat down and talked to you about your art, your process. So, how old were you when you first started drawing?
I would say about 6 or 7. So I could pick up a pencil.
Yeah, same.
Probably earlier than that. Probably when I was caught drawing on the walls. Oops.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it was crayon, so it wasn't
That's
permanent
not,
marker.
yeah, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. Not as bad as permanent marker these days. So, what are your favorite types of things? Like if you could say you had a category, and you could list a couple, you don't have to just think of one, but like your favorite types of things to draw.
Very much love Halloween.
Oh my God, me too. It's my favorite holiday.
I get very inspired by it.
Me too. I love the newest design that you drew. It was like the candle. It was like the Frankenstein head and the candle. I thought that was genius. That was such a good idea. And then you have another Halloween design that I absolutely love, and it's like a spooky, scary pumpkin. I think you named it Pumpkin Spice, which I think is so clever.
Thank you.
So, do you title all of your art pieces, or just the ones you feel inspired to title?
Once I'm pretty much inspired to title it just like pop into your mind. You're like, oh yeah, I want to draw that, and the name just comes with it.
Oh, yeah, that's really interesting. So it's like the name kind of inspires you, and then the art kind of comes together. So when you draw something, or when you get inspired to draw something, do you do like a sketch of it, and then you try to refine it through sketches, and then you eventually come, or do you just put out a piece of paper and just draw, and then whatever happens happens?
I try to do a sketch first and just see where it goes from there. Hopefully, if sometimes it goes the way I want it to, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm also surprised that it's still good, even if it doesn't go the way exactly I planned to. It's like, oh, this is even better.
Yeah. So, I wanted to talk to you about your mermaid design that Esquire and I recolored. I wanted to ask you about your inspiration for that mermaid, and your thoughts about her. We just love her. We think she's absolutely beautiful and adorable.
Yeah, I love mermaids. I'm a big mermaid fan, as well as a cosplay fan. So I follow a lot of mermaids on Instagram.
Nice. I gotta get some of those accounts from you, because I love mermaids too. I need to be following some of them. Esquire and I were having a debate about this mermaid drawing, and we were trying to decide whether or not she was an actual mermaid, or was she a woman wearing a mermaid costume.
It pretty much is a woman wearing a mermaid costume.
Okay. Yeah,
but it goes either way. Honestly,
yeah.
It depends. But mostly it was a woman wearing a mermaid costume.
That's really, really cool. We both kind of debated about that back and forth, and we weren't sure what your vision was. And actually, that question was the thing that, inspired us to do this video with you, or this conversation with you, because we were wondering that, and we were like, you know what? She actually said it. Esquire suggested it. Let me give credit, and said, you know what? You should do an interview and hit with him and ask him about this and everything else about his art. So I wanted to ask you, what software do you use to draw with? So I guess the digital art that you create, what software do you use? And do you use like an iPad or a tablet, or?
A tablet. I use Autodesk, a sketchbook.
Oh, okay. I've used that before. That's a good one. Actually, that's a really good, for anybody listening, that's a really good software. Have you always used that one, or did you use other things as well?
Well, I used another one, but it was really, really bad. And I was like, and my artwork kind of suffered because of it. I mean, I did the best I could. And then when I found Autodesk, like, oh, this is best.
Do you ever like have certain music on or TV shows on that you listen to, or do you just zone in and just do drawing without anything in the background?
Depends on the work I'm doing. I mean, if I'm doing like a Halloween piece, I have Halloween music playing.
Ooh, that's such
If
a
I
good
have,
idea.
if I'm working on like a Disney, I have like maybe have a Disney program on that I'm watching, or anything that might help inspire me even more to put something extra into the drawing.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I really like that. So if I'm going to ask you when you're drawing things, and I notice that you do draw a lot of human figures. I've seen you draw animals, and I've seen you draw some different, things. What do you think is like the hardest thing to draw? Like every time you're doing a drawing, the thing that you're like, okay, now I have to tackle this. What would you say is like your hardest like thing to draw or learn to draw?
I would say hands. Hands was the hardest.
Yeah. Hands is definitely a tough one. And when I was little and I would draw, I would always put people's hands behind their back or in pockets because they were so challenging.
Or make a fist. Have.
Oh yeah, it's a challenge. Hands, I think every artist has trouble with hands. So that's definitely you're among great company in that. And do you when you draw a picture, like, so say I'm going to give the mermaid, for example, the beautiful mermaid that you did. When you draw her, do you imagine the colors that you're going to use beforehand, or do you just draw her and then kind of pick the colors afterwards?
I pick the clothes afterwards.
So if I'm going to ask you, and I know that it may be hard for you to choose because I think our pieces are like our children. Do you have like a favorite piece, like a piece that you just really, really love when you look at it? You're like, oh my God, I love this one so much. Or do you have like a couple that you think are like your absolute favorites?
Well, my favorite right now is the Angel of Hyrule. That was a collaboration between me and another artist.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah. She's actually a cosplayer
Oh, okay.
and also a very very talented flutist.
Really? That's interesting. Okay, so the collaboration was, did she do some of the art or did she just pose for you, or how did she collaborate with you?
Well, I saw her dressed as a character, and I was like, wow. And that she was just sitting in a moon chair, those plastic hollow circle chairs,
Oh, okay. Yes, I know what you're talking
and
about.
she looked like a goddess to me. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I had to draw, and I did that. Instead of using the chair, I had her sitting on the moon,
Yes. I know
and
that picture very
and
well. It's a
I
beautiful
just
picture.
fell in love with the drawing so much. I was like, listen, I think this could sell. So I contacted her and asked her, it would be okay if I split the difference between you and me, and could I use your image? She's like, sure. It's like, great. So, and I've been drawing ever since. I have many different versions of that drawing
Wow.
that we
Yes,
can sell.
I've seen that drawing before, so I know exactly the one you're talking about, and it is beautiful. I've always thought that it was very dreamy, like it
Hmm.
had like a real dreamy vibe to it.
Angel of Hyrule can be found on Instagram, and you can find a link to her other account, which is flutist, and she's very good. She's amazing. She plays a lot of anime music.
Ooh, I
With her
like
flute.
that. And your drawings are definitely great because they do invoke or evoke, I'm sorry, an emotion, and really, kind of they make you feel something, they make you think something, and so between the colors you choose and the images that you create, I think that you really have that ability to kind of take somebody to a place and time and make them feel, whether it's nostalgia or dreamy or scary or spooky or whatever. I think you're gifted in that way for sure.
Thank you.
So, if you could give any advice to like any young artist out there who's trying to learn how to draw, or who's trying to like, hone their skills, what advice would you give them? Like, what helped you to learn how to draw?
The same advice I got from Commander Mark, who would say, draw, 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 draw every day.
I think that that's really good advice. And don't be too hard on yourself.
Yes,
Definitely. But
definitely. Yeah,
I
because
the
we all
yeah,
start somewhere.
that's a really good point. But you're right, drawing every day is really going to help you to, get your muscle memory going and get yourself used to that. So, I'm trying to think if there's any other questions that I had to ask you. I just want to get all the good juiciness. Is there anything that you wanted to say?
Well, I say if you want to, I mean, anything you have a problem drawing, draw it. If you have a problem with it, just draw it. Don't worry about how good or bad it looks. Just keep practicing, and if you practice hard enough, that thing you have a problem with, it'll work out. It'll totally work out, and you'll get better. Always get better.
I think that that's really good advice as well. I think that that's true. I think the more you practice, the more you're going to hone those skills, and you'll start to pick up things that you kind of you'll start to notice things and pick up things the more you kind of make that effort. So I think that that's excellent advice. I'm going to have all of your socials down below. I'm going to have all the links to your shop where you sell your art. So anything that anybody would want to see relating to you will be listed in the description of this video. And I really appreciate you taking some time out to sit down and talk to me about your art. I've been wanting to ask you these questions for a while, but I know we both lead busy lives, and so it's really nice to have this conversation. Thank you for hanging out with me and talking about your art.
It was my pleasure.
And do you take commissions, or, I know you have your art for sale, but do you do also commissions and things like that?
Yes, I do. I do. I took a few commission pieces not too long ago. I did a handful right now, but I hope that will grow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if anybody wanted to ask you to create art for them, would they just get in contact with you through like Instagram or DM you, or is there a space for them to go for that?
Instagram is good. If they're on Facebook, my Facebook page is there too. Even TikTok.
Yeah.
So I take pictures anywhere. So.
Cool. All right. Well, it was really nice hanging out with you. I really appreciate you spending time with us today. And I hope you guys enjoyed learning more about Charles and his amazing artwork. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more. And definitely go check out Charles's links and subscribe to all of his stuff. And give him some love as well, because he's a brilliant, amazing artist. Take care, guys.